Soft. Number 1896, Effie Beast. Number 25, Mia Missile. Number 27, Sugar. Number 42, Lizzie Slaughter. Number 503, Flam Ara. Number 52, B.A. Baracus. And number 76, Trash Tourette. The coaches for Germany, Coffin Cutie and Chipster. And for Scotland,
we've got Techno and Red Baron.
We are ready to get underway. Our first jammer rotation will be Jane Van Payne for Team Germany against Not Sorry Laurie for Team Scotland, and we are ready to get underway in our preliminary round, phase number 1 here in Manchester, and they're underway.
Bit of a scrum coming at the jam line now. Both jammers really pushing heavily against those packs. Not Sorry Laurie taken to the back of the straightaway. Still pushing, but it is Jane Van Payne who's your lead jammer for Team Germany.
And Jane Van Payne out of Bear City Roller Derby had a wonderful D2, as we mentioned. She'll come up to the back of the pack, trying to get around Liston, who is anchoring that box over there. One Scotland player has made it to the sin bin, so they are playing a blocker short. And out of the pack comes Jane Van Payne for 5 in the sky. That's a grand slam, and Germany is on the board.
That's right, but with the star in hand, Not Sorry Laurie breaks through on the toe stops on that inside line. Now eligible to score for Scotland.
Working on her second scoring pass, Jane Van Payne will call it off as they're stuck between turns 1 and 2, and Germany off to an early lead.
That's right, and hey, if you're watching the game at home, you want to get on the conversation, use the official hashtag RDWC2018 on Twitter and Instagram, and let us know where you're watching the World Cup from today.
Mia Missile from Bear City Roller Derby taking on
Landsborough, I believe, from
the Dundee Roller Girls.
Dundee, correct.
She was Scotland's MVP at the Road to Manchester tournament, and you could see why there. The pretty much hometown fans loving the fact that she's getting out for lead jammer.
That's right, one of the standout jammers of that entire tournament. Great little jump on the inside line, picks up the full 5 points for Scotland.
Landsborough enjoying yet another scoring pass, getting some great offensive blocking out front by Crazy Legs. And that's another 5 into the sky for Landsborough.
Meanwhile, Mia Missile's got star in hand, I believe, is trying to push away.
Landsborough taking care of business as this jam up to 15 points now.
It's such a huge jam this early in the game. Is exactly what Scotland needs. Mia Missile finds that gap on the inside, finally eligible to score. Landsborough calls the jam with a further 5 in the air. 20 points to Scotland. Massive jam this early in the game.
And I have to give a lot of credit to Riot. Great offensive blocking, allowing Landsborough to get out. Riot from Granite City Roller Derby doing a great job there.
That's right. Next up for Germany, we've got Soft facing off against Simple for Scotland.
Simple's skating from the Dundee Roller Girls. Soft is from Bear City Roller Derby out of Berlin. Soft having trouble trying to go to the outside, knocked outside of the track and has to recycle behind Little. And meanwhile, Scotland makes it that simple for lead jammer.
That's right, Simple finds the outside line there. Meanwhile, Soft still trying to get through that pack. 1 or 2 to beat, manages it, now eligible to score. Meanwhile, Simple taken back past the jam line, has to re-engage, but calls the jam there, protecting that lead. 2 points, Scotland. Let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors here, Sisu Mouthguards, the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. And where would we be without our mouthguards? I tell you.
Effie Beast for Germany and the jamming debut for this game for Peacock, officially Rosie Peacock. As I know her from back at Old Riki, she was an amazing jammer, just lit up the place in Pittsburgh. And look at the power that is being used by Peacock to try to get through the 4 wall. Spinning and trying to maneuver their way through, and they break through for lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Effie Beast with star in hand gets taken back by Shorty. Hits that wedge of white. Shorty goes to the bin there. Another 5 points in the sky for Peacock against Germany.
Smacksby, the center of gravity on Peacock, so essential for their jamming.
Certainly true. They get nice and low and push through those soft and squidgy parts of the German blockers.
Effie Beast approaching from the rear of the pack. Peacock calls it off. Big jam for Scotland. 8 points, bringing their score to 38 for Team Germany. And we played 5 minutes in this Phase 1 game.
That's right. Especially this time when every single point is going to matter against the rankings. You want to be picking up these early leads if you can. Not Sorry Laurie now facing off against Jane Van Payne for Germany. Both teams with a blocker in the bin. Germany's returning now. Jane Van Payne pushing ahead of the pack, pushing it seems to be Liston. And it's going to be a backblock penalty assessed on Not Sorry Laurie. So this is going to be a power jam to Team Germany.
Jane Van Payne trying to make her way. Can't get by the anchoring of Liston, but a multiplayer block has been called against Scotland, and that will be assessed to number 07, Liston. 2 blockers remain as Shorty trying to keep Jan Van Payne away, and she does indeed. Makes her recycle back. Jane Van Payne trying to work her around Seaton. Shorty doing a great job there. Offensive blocking courtesy of Trash Tourette of Germany. Jane Van Payne going down. Maybe had a little bit of the wind knocked out of her. Again, Trash Tourette trying the offensive blocking and does get Jane Van Payne out.
Meanwhile, Not Sorry Laurie returns to track, now eligible to score after a cracking little jump over the apex there. He's going to try to close down this jam.
Jane Van Payne comes to the back, and we'll see if there are any points scored. 1 solo point scored for Team Scotland. 0 points for Team Germany.
An absolutely cracking job of breaking down that German offense, really stopping that power jam from gaining legs. Big shout out to Roller Derby Elite, one of our sponsors this weekend. Their boots are like pillows for your feet. That does sound relaxing, doesn't it?
Lansborough coming off a 20-point jam, lines up on the jam line against Mia Missile. Germany with 4 scoreless jams out of the 6 played, but this time it's Mia Missile, the speedster out of Berlin, taking lead jammer status. Lansborough right on her tail. Apex jump, but she didn't quite get back in, so recycling will take place. Missile comes back. Lansborough is having to recycle as well. Mia Missile on the toe stops, gets her way through, and she will have 4 points scored for Team Germany.
Really breaking that drought of points now. Germany really wanting to rack them up while they still have the tempo in their advantage. Meanwhile, Lansborough still stuck in that pack, breaks through, now picking up 4 points of their own. Both teams willing to play it long at this point. Germany wanting to close that gap as much as they can. Really putting the brakes on with that defense, keeping Lansborough at this back line.
And a beautiful twist by Mia Missile, getting around for 4 more points. Her Bear City team took on Pirate City in what was one of the epic games of the Division II playoffs and championships, a game that ended in overtime, and Missile went out and scored all the points and gave her team the win to allow them to advance. But a heavy recycling here as Crazy Legs taking Mia Missile almost all the way back around the track.
I was starting to think we were playing this tape in reverse for a moment, going the complete wrong direction, but it seems like normal service has been resumed. Lansborough pushing away at 2 German blockers at the front there, getting assistance from the Scottish blockers. But the pack contracting again around that line, with Lansborough being brought back to the jam line, and the jam comes to a conclusion. 4 more points for Scotland.
Yeah. We saw a little bit on a quick replay there of Mia Missile's nice move to be able to get in front of the pack. So as we tally up the scores, 13 points for Missile, 8 for Landsborough, and it's a 39-21 Team Scotland lead.
That's right. Next up, the jam for Germany. It's going to be tough versus Semple for Scotland. Scotland with the blocker in the bin, but we are having a quick official timeout. Great time to mention one of our many sponsors for this weekend, Fifth Blocker Skates. Skater owned and operated since 2011, based in Glasgow, Scotland. I've known to frequent there myself. They're pure Gallus, by the way. Check them out at fifthblockerskates.co.uk.
If you're feeling somewhat sore, Semple might be able to help you on the fact that she is the sports therapist for the Power of Scotland men's roller derby team and won the Tournament Spirit Award at the Road to Manchester tournament with Scotland, as our alt ref is coming over to give us some information.
Referees now returning to position. It looks like we're going to get back underway. Less than 20 minutes on the clock. 26 points to Germany, 39 points to Scotland.
I love watching the fans here at Roller Derby World Cup. So much sparkle today. There you go, right there. I'm guessing those are Australia fans or Brazilian fans. No matter what, they're Derby fans, and it's great to have them here. Your lead jammer is Soff, spelled Z-O-F-F, not S-A-W-F-T if you're a WWE fan.
Meanwhile, Semple's got the start in hand, trying to make that pass to Scotland's pivot. Can't quite make any purchase. There's the pass, though, to Little, now the active jammer for Scotland, chasing down Soff.
So now we're into fast speed skating. Little trying to catch up to Soff. Soff moving to the inside, trying to move around. Little able to break her way through for 4 points. So Scotland taking advantage of this. Soff with 10 points on the jam so far, and before Little can sneak her way in for more points, Soff calls the jam off.
That's right. Scotland doing an excellent job just to really hold down that German offense, stop them from gaining too much tempo going into these jams. And if you're just joining us right now, you're joining us at the Roller Derby World Cup here at Event City, Manchester, England, watching Germany facing Scotland. That's Cecil, I'm Smacksby, and this is a pretty electric game so far.
Rosie Peacock against Jane Van Payne, two excellent jammers. Peacock takes the outside line, and they are off and running as lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Jane Van Payne chasing them down, only about a third of a lap behind. Got a bit of a concertinaing pack coming into the straightaway, and there's the call.
Just perfect peace of mind right there as Peacock turned around, saw the jammer coming, called it off immediately, even though they were surrounded by much taller players.
That's track awareness for you right there, and picking up 2 points for their troubles as well. That is pure experience in play.
A little pre-jam, I guess dancing you could say, between Mia Missile and Not Sorry Laurie. Missile looking to the outside line. Not Sorry Laurie just absolutely boxed up, courtesy of some great blocking by B.A. Baracus. Also back there, 101 Ostblocker. And Mia Missile comes in taking advantage of a lot of the defensive jamming, and I think we may either had a star pass or a star pull-off. That was a star pull-off by Not Sorry Laurie. Mia Missile with 4 points in the air after a no pass, no penalty.
Not Sorry Laurie attacking that pack, finds the inside line, manages to squeak through, picks up 4 points.
So pretty even jam here thus far. Correction, it was 5 points for Mia Missile's first scoring pass. So now, Not Sorry Laurie is not sorry at all, being able to score 2 more points. And even though she was not the lead jammer, she was able to pick up 6 points to match Mia Missile's 6.
That's right, 51 is going to lead 44 in favor of Scotland. One of the closest games we've seen this entire day. I wonder if they can keep up this pace.
Soff against 792 Landsborough. Lansborough 20 points in her first jam and added 4 in the second.
Bit of a scrum pack coming into the turn, but it is Sof who manages to pick up lead jammer for Germany.
Having to adjust the knee pad coming around turn number 4. Just a great spread out pack, well played by Germany. Not centralizing anything, just making everybody have to concentrate on something else other than the jammer.
That's right, an excellent play by the German side, bringing this game to within 2 points. Little hop, skip, and jumper on the inside lane, but it's a cut track penalty assessed on Sof. Power jam Scotland.
And this is not something you want to do against Lansborough, who is able to put up some major points, but right now Eva Lorius is the maestro of the tripod, doing a great job keeping everyone back, including Lansborough. Flamarai also out there along with 127. I mentioned Eva Lorius. And recycling is the name of the game. It's good for all of us, and Lansborough having to find that out the hard way.
That's right, the Scottish wall now starting to form around the German blockers. Lansborough not to the inside. Germany totally killed that power jam. Fantastic work for them. Scottish defense forming on the front line coming into turn 3. Sof is pushing away, only got 2-3 to beat now. Shorty bridging out the pack there, letting them extend.
Crazy Legs with a great block sends Sof to the inside. Sof back on the track, 12 seconds to go in this jam. Lansborough tries to get around, unable to. She'll have to recycle, and this jam will come to a close in one of the hardest fought defensive jams we've seen in an awfully long time, Smacksby.
Certainly true. One of the toughest jams I've seen all day, probably. But hey, back to one of our amazing sponsors this weekend. It's the Roller Derby Shirt Club. Do you want to get a different shirt from a different roller derby league from around the world every month? I know I do. Join the Roller Derby Shirt Club and get just that. RollerDerbyShirtClub.com.
Semple against Jane Van Payne. Semple for Scotland, Jane Van Payne for Germany. Scotland starts the blocking up by the pivot line, but then rolls back, and Jane Van Payne is out as your lead jammer, but right behind her is Semple. Test of strategy, a little bit of test of guts here. Can somebody get points and call it off? Jane Van Payne, 2 points.
2 points, that brings us to a tied game. 56 points apiece, just under 13 minutes. My heart's in my mouth. I don't know where yours is right now.
Oh, it's thumping big time. And timeout is called by Scotland. And with these 30-minute games, the clock will continue to run. So there's a little bit of strategy here. Do you want to be able to talk to your players? You really can't stop the clock, so to speak. So timeout's very interesting strategy.
Certainly is. I mean, I know that if a team is ahead at this point, they really want to let that clock run as much as possible, hold that lead. But at this point, with the scores tied, you've really got to be sure when you're taking that timeout.
A good look at the fans here at the Blood and Thunder track, where the jammers skate off the RollerCon jam line. And at that RollerCon jam line, this is the head-to-head matchup that a lot of people have been wanting to see. Mia Missile going up against Peacock.
Timeout is now over. We're going to get underway.
Blocker standing in the penalty box, so Scotland will start one blocker short. And we're underway. Missile taking the kind of running and rolling start. Unable to help her around, and actually Peacock keeping Missile from moving through, but Missile scoots to the right and is able to pick up lead jammer status.
That's right, Peacock still absorbing that pack, but it is Shorty with the star pass. Now your active jammer for Scotland out and eligible to score. Hopefully going to kill the momentum on this one. but it is 4 points in the air to Germany. Did Shorty pick up points?
That's the big question. Shorty with a really cool jump, but no points.
No points.
No points.
We've got ourselves a lead change. Team Germany 60 points to Scotland's 56.
And we've seen quite a few very competitive games. You know, you always talk about the top four. It's a little bit like talking about the Premier League. You got your big teams, and then you have all the teams that are wanting to show that they can compete. These are two teams definitely in that category, as getting out as lead jammer is soft.
No, sorry, Laurie, still stuck in the pack, looking to make that pass, but finds the inside line, leaps it, is eligible to score now. Is going to want to close down that jam as soon as possible.
Mia Missile has been lead jammer 75% of the time. Germany now lead with 6 out of the last 7 jams, which obviously shows on the scoreboard with a lead change. Little will take a seat in the sin bin. Both teams 1 blocker down, as it's soft with 4 points in the air.
Germany doing a great job of really cracking down on the tempo for Team Scotland right now, stopping Laurie from getting any distance on the pack here, making her fight for every inch. 5 more points in the sky for Germany. Meanwhile, Laurie gets through, picks up the 4 points.
Soft having quite the battle with utter mayhem from Team Scotland, and that jam comes to an end. 2 additional points for Germany, bringing their total to 12, 4 for Scotland, and suddenly Team Germany out to a dozen lead.
Landsborough up to jam now for Scotland against Jane Van Payne. Empty sin bin right now, what my colleague Archie would call a full 80-wheeler. We're going to get underway in just a second.
Can I just say I love that? Landsborough getting the rolling start and has a definite bit of momentum as she runs up to the back of Lizzie Slaughter, but it is Germany once again with the lead jammer status, and Jane Van Payne out of Berlin's Bear City Roller Derby.
That's right, she just saw that outside line, saw that tiniest little gap and took it.
Jane Van Payne trying to work against the blockers, and once again, star pass beautifully executed to Shorty.
Meanwhile, Scotland hemorrhaging the sin bin.
Shorty just racks Jane Van Payne up. As the old Derby announcer would say, putting them up and laying them down. Back in the old LA T-Birds days, which of course predated all of the Derby that we know on the flat track.
Of course.
Wow, what a hit. Shorty out of Glasgow, roller derby.
Shorty normally a jammer actually, normally. But it is going to be Mia Missile who takes lead for Germany one more time. Semple still stuck in that pack. Recycle pass the jam line.
Oh, nice hit and well done by number 7, Liston, taking Mia Missile back. Or correction, that's Little. Number 7, Little, who's not very little. She's rather tall.
Very true. Ironic almost.
Now this is Liston making Mia Missile recycle. Crazy Legs comes back in, recycling in out of the sin bin, but Mia Missile making short order there. A quick tightrope of the inside line gives her 5.
Meanwhile, Stemple still getting stuck in about that pack there. Can't quite make the reach. Let's look at that play again.
Just the sheer power going through.
And it is Semple going to the bin now for a cut track penalty. It's going to be a power jam to Team Germany.
And with Mia Missile out there, it'll be up to Scotland to play the part of penalty killers. Liston doing a great job there with the shove to the inside. Missile will try again. 3 blockers there. Liston along with Riot and Crazy Legs. Great blocking, keeping Mia Missile at bay. Missile tries the inside line, but a one-on-one smackdown with Riot. This has been fun to watch. And the third power jam of the game ends with 10 points for Germany, and they have a 27-point lead.
That's right, 87 is going to play against 60 now in favor of the team from Germany. Big shout out to Pivot Star. Looking for athletic wear that helps kickstart your season? Head to the Pivot Star stall for that extra special World Cup flash sale. Everything you need at prices to suit you. Alternative, athletic, and awesome.
Official review is being called by Team Scotland. And at this juncture, any type of advantage they can get, because we're not talking about 2 full halves. 30 minutes with a rolling clock doesn't leave a lot of time.
That's right. I'm hoping that this official review is worth it for them, because as we say, every second counts in these 30-second games. And we're looking at Reveille Contact Wear, the leading tech performance equipment for women in contact sports. The Reveille, a bust and shoulders protection for women, was awarded at ISPO, the world's largest and sports and innovation fair in the world. Check out ReveilleContactWear.com.
The more physical this game becomes, Maxby, as you take a look at the bench over at Team Scotland, the more physical this becomes, I'm starting to see that there are a lot of companies that are making cushions for different parts of the body because the contact is so tough now.
That's true. I mean, we're going over and above the regular protective wear that we have to have, the knees, the elbows, the wrists, a lot of skaters with shin pads, rib protectors. Even the visor in the helmet is becoming more important in the game today.
So I believe a back block was possible on the last jam, and Scotland was wondering if that should have been called.
The Scotland supporters at the back.
Yeah, so they're reviewing the back block. Now this is working actually against Team Scotland because the clock is run down at least a minute and a half here. So, or actually 2 minutes and 7 seconds, as we can take a look on the scoreboard right there.
That's true. We got hope. Well, they've got hope that whatever benefit they get out of this official review is going to outweigh the time that they've spent on it. As you say, it's not like regular play. Every second really counts here.
Peacock and Soft, as you are the jammers, as we look at the coaches, Coffin Cutie and Techno. And Coffin Cutie having a few words with Soft, maybe a little bit of motivation. And after almost 3 minutes, we finally get a 5-second whistle. And it doesn't seem like anything was overturned, so.
No, business as usual, it would seem. So less than 3 minutes left on the clock, 27 points to make it. It's going to be a tough one for Team Scotland, but Peacock's possibly the jammer to do it. Finds the outside line, breaks through, lead jammer Scotland.
Both teams with one blocker in the sin bin. Peacock on their first scoring pass gets through for 4 points. Soft regains the star, looking for points. Peacock trying the same line, runs into the back. Soft able to pull out for 4 points. Peacock able to get 4 of their own.
Both jammers taking advantage of a very disbanded pack there.
And Peacock calling it off. 1:44 to go, 91-68, Germany with a lead.
23 points still in it. Jane Van Payne's going to take the lineup against Not Sorry Laurie next.
And there you see Peacock just trying to bowl their way through. Scotland out of timeouts now, so we're looking at potentially the final jam. Jane Van Payne up against Not Sorry Laurie. Excellent blocking by both teams. Jane Van Payne thought she might have had a skate out, and she did indeed, cutting the track. Power jam Scotland.
This could be exactly what they need. The crowd is absolutely ecstatic. 30 seconds for Not Sorry Lord to see if they can rack up some more points. 23 points still in it. Finds the inside line. 5 points Scotland.
Beautiful apex jump by Not Sorry Lori. 91-73. Gets some offensive blocking, trying to move to the inside. Gets a great block by Liston, but the door shuts quite quickly. Still on a power jam. Jane Van Payne back onto the track now for Germany with helmet cover in hand.
Not Sorry Lori still absorbed in that German wall of run. Got knocked to the outside, getting stuck in about that wedge of black.
Trash Tourette leading the charge along with the 101 Ostblocker. Recycling for Not Sorry Lori. Meanwhile, it's essential for Scotland to hold the German jammer back, and a forearm call allows Jane Van Payne to break through on her initial scoring pass. The game clock has run out, 30 seconds to go in the jam. Jane Van Payne trying to get around 3 of the Scotland blockers helping her out there. Jane Van Payne just spreading the pack thin. Last 10 seconds to go. And we'll let the crowd tell the story here.
And that's it. Unofficial final score, 77 to Team Scotland, 95 to Team Germany. Such a hard fought second half of that game. I really thought it was going to go Scotland's way for the first 15 minutes, but here we are, quite a different story at the end of the game.
So Germany picks up their first win of the tournament after losing to Finland earlier. They defeat Scotland 95-77. Scotland with 2 losses on day one, having lost to Aotearoa 24-83 earlier. For the great Smacksby and our producer, Bob Noxious, Cecil B. Puff Daddy saying so long from the Blood and Thunder track at Roller Derby World Cup 2017.
Peace out, folks.